there everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Army and today we're back playing some Starters Order 6 here at Fens Lodge with our jump save. Now this is an interesting save where sort of up and down, you know, it's a jump save. I guess you've got to expect that. There's a lot of hurdles in this save and there's a lot of puns to be made about it, but we're going to move on from that. We're going to move on from that because I could be here all day. Now, yeah, interesting save. For a long time, we had Batchworth Dancer, one of our starting horses. Didn't do too badly, didn't do too great. Barely earning enough to keep things going. We did afford to build the breeding barn, you know, and we were just keeping things going. Then a bit of advice led me to try out Batchworth Dancer in graded races. We won, you know, 3 grade 1s after a grade 3, and yeah, not great since. You know, we went up to 3-2 for the Cheltenham Gold Cup. It's worth a shot. 4th place isn't bad, but it's not a win. And then we moved back down to 3 miles for the World Series hurdles. Another grade 1 race, but it's a hurdles, it's not a chase. And we finished 2nd. Unlucky at times, but, you know, we had shots at both those races, couldn't get it done. 3 mile 1 over hurdles in France for the Grand Course de Hayes. 9th, not good enough, like really not good enough. Kind of making me question this horse once more, excuse me. But I don't know, there's a lot to like about the horse, there's a lot not to like about the horse. Not a great potential. It's 9-year-old, that would be the end of its career for me in a flat save. I'm starting to learn the ages now for a jump save, and it's way different. It is way different. So some good stats, some bad stats, some good things, some bad things, some good races, some bad races. We've got everything with Batchworth Dancer, and I think that's made the save for me. To experience everything with one horse is kind of both sides of the coin. So I'm really enjoying that. But it's not a hurdler, it's a chase horse, and we need to put it in the right kinds of races. Now, I don't know whether this is the right race. 3 miles 1, maybe a little too far. It's a grade 2, not a grade 1, and it's a chase, not a hurdle. So we're around where we need to be. We might not be spot on, but we're around where we want to be. That's our first race today, is to get Batchworth Dancer back on the kind of race that made her great for that 3 races. You know, one of that 3 grade 1s in a row. So that's first step. Second step are new horses. And a little bit of interesting sort of bits and pieces with these as well. Now, I wasn't going to get new horses, and you can see we've actually gone back into debt on the back of this and on the back of more breeding. So, you know, it is what it is, and that's just where we're going to be for the while. But I like these horses. Now, Concubine, I'm not too sure how good she is. She's got good breeding indicator there. It's more distance. It's a chance to go for different races. She's 4-year-old. She could develop. You know, the ability isn't too different, I don't think. The jumping speed's good. Jumping ability is poor. I think I might be right in saying she's now a hurdler, not a chaser. We'll see how that develops. I think chases are more difficult jumps. So, you know, you want the ability to be high. Over hurdles, you don't need a great ability to get over them, but you need good jumping speed to stay ahead of the pack. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I'm going to give Concubine a go. I think, you know, if you look at the cruising burst, the finish application, okay, she doesn't have great extra speed. She isn't going to last a long time. Not a lot of potential. You know, there's a few downsides, but she can run on nearly any course. She's not running the same as Batchworth Dancer in terms of distance. That should help us out. And good jumping speed. So if we stick to, you know, to the hurdles, at least for now, I think Concubine could turn out to be a very, very nice horse for us. So we've got that going. We've got her in a hurdles race, and we got her in a flat race. She's run a hurdles race, which she won, and then she went up for auction. So I'm interested to see how she turns out. That's just another sort of question mark, which we'll have to answer as the save goes on. And then I bought a gelding at auction. I don't normally do that at all, but I liked the look of this gelding, and I thought breeding barn would be good. Laid back, 2 mile 4 average distance. We could breed that with something a little bit longer, get back up to the 3 mile mark, maybe 3-2 and go for the Cheltenham Gold Cup again. I don't know, but I liked what I saw. And second place in 3 back-to-back feature races, which I don't believe are on distance. I think it is a 2 mile 4 kind of horse. So, 4-year-old, it's young, it's laid back, it's got a lot of future. Sadly, it's a gelding, which means no breeding, which I didn't notice at first, or I did notice at first, but I kind of forgot during the auction itself. I went a bit more pricey than I was going to, because I figured, even if it doesn't make it back on the track, it can make it at back on the breeding side of the game. So, a little bit of a misstep from me. But look at that potential. Look at that potential. I'm absolutely delighted with that. Now, great jumping speed potential, a little bit of jumping ability, maybe again more of a hurdler than a chaser. I don't know. No finish application. There's a few horses across my save games which are cropping up with this. I don't know whether it's a bug or whether just some horses actually get this. I've seen it a lot more than I ever used to. So I'm not sure, but I think this horse could turn out to be a really, really good one with that potential. So we're going to have to wait and see how this turns out. Sadly, no breeding barn, but that means we can keep this horse for the next 4, 5, 6 seasons, maybe, and just see where Lycidius actually ends up. So we got Concubine, who may be going into the breeding barn, maybe along the lines of another Batchworth Dancer, but a bit further distance. Batchworth Dancer, we're trying to get back into that sweet spot. And then we've got Lycidius for the future, as well as the 2-year-olds. So I think things are in a good position. I think it's worth being $3,000 in debt. We do have some horses here available. So current climate. Look at, that's just, no. I don't think we can do anything more with current climate. This is the last season. We're going to breed from them. Dilly's Maud. I like doing this in order of age at the beginning of each season, and that's a definite retiree as well. So next season when we're able to retire Dilly's Maud, that will definitely be done as well. Sita, I'm pretty sure we should retire her. Not too bad, but, not great. So, we'll see. Mazurka, brought in, low confidence. Not great, but, could be able to do something. So, we've got her breeding up to Diddums at the moment. Humble Gift, again, not the world's greatest horse. No finish application. Yet another. I think we're going to retire most of those, if not all these females, because Crow's Cross, laid back, no potential, no confidence as well. So maybe that's the way to go. Youngsters, I'm not too sure about how these are working out. Probably retire and retire. So I think ultimately next season we could retire all these, but we've given ourselves a nice bank and a chance at 1 or 2 nice sort of horses for the future by what we've already bred. So it's time to put some quality in the breeding barn, not just quantity. So maybe I'll keep the 3s. I'll keep the 3 Gugu, Bajagal, and Acclamation. Maybe Crow's Cross as well, and put another young horse in there Just keep the 4 of them around. I think that might work out. And then just retire the rest next season. So actually, while we're here, we're going to be in debt. So, like, does it really matter? 27,000 might matter. 12 grand, 24 grand. I mean, there's not really much we can do, is there? So no, I don't think I'm going to breed just yet. We're going to go to the races. If we do earn more money, we will breed again this season. But, yeah, the prices aren't really in it at the moment. We see not the best there. So Isas down the back with Runaway Dancer and Murphy. Then Isas, Ribo's Guest, Periquitim, Consultant Stylist, Upper Matum, and Buttermoon is the favourite. So I'd agree with that. I mean, Ribo's Guest, Buttermoon, Consultant Stylist, Upper Matum, you know, they are good horses. They are quite nice race ratings. I don't think that Periquitum should be ahead of us, but we'll have to see. There's a few laid back horses in this and one a little agitated, so not sure how that will play out. But yeah, definitely time to see what Batchworth Dancer can do, and it's another error. They do seem to be cropping up in these games, sadly. We had a bit of trouble with it, and we're having more trouble again, so I did try a fresh reinstall of the game, but I had to try and keep it at the same sort of the same mods and everything and the same version of the game. I just tried to reinstall everything, so that's a bit strange why it's doing that, so bear with me and see if I can't rescue this. I hope it's not because of a hard drive failure that I had. If so, not the best. Okay, well, I managed to get it back working for now. We'll see if it actually crashes in this race like the other save did. If it is, then I guess it might be time to take what I've learned into another save. With a fresh reinstall of everything and put it back up into the absolute latest thing to try and get over as many bugs as possible. So, we're going to have to see what happens with this race and with this save going forward, but hopefully we'll be able to continue on because Batchworth Dancer's in good position right now in 4th place. Murphy up in 3rd, Buttermoon on the outside is 2nd, just now passing Isas, who had a bad jump there on the inside. Consultant Stylist up the inside into 4th. We're now running back in 4th, just overtaking them. There is Periquitum on the outside with Upmatum right in between us. At the back, Runaway Dancer just ahead of Ribo's Guest. A very, very dangerous horse. 20 furlongs left to run. Plenty of time for things to change here. And less than a quarter through this race right now. So we haven't jumped too badly at the moment. The positioning is decent. You know, I'll give us good positioning here. We're not blocked in. That could change. You know, if Buttermoon were to run a little bit more slowly and Upanatum went forward a bit. Oh, and we nearly fall. That's the first bad jump that we actually have. Kind of costs us a little bit. That might take it out of us for the final sort of jump. It seems to be a very, very late jump. So, not the best. We're kind of coming back into a similar position we were in. It's only going to take one good jump to get us back up into the mix, and Ribo's Guest definitely has got that right now. Up and at them gets a lovely little jump there now, which pushes them on to contest for that 3rd place a little bit. We're now contesting with Murphy for 5th. Isas is back out front, and that was a bit of a late jump again from us. Not the best. You know, we didn't stumble that time. Didn't look like we could fall, but yeah, not very happy. Not very happy with those few jumps there in the middle part of the race. Isas is still out in the lead, Butter Moon in second place, being chased down a little by Murphy. Up and Atom and Consultant Stylist now fighting over fourth. We're just behind with all the others, Ribot's Guest, Periquitum and Runway Dancer, all right there on our heels, fighting for position. We've got great track position, I like that. 13.5 furlongs left to go, we're a little bit behind. But a couple of good jumps could put us back in, and that was a decent one there. Up and At Them now moves clear into fourth place. We're now neck and neck with Consultant Stylist. Not a bad jump from us. Periquitum, though, does go down. Unseated there at that last jump. And that's a good jump for us, a bad jump for Up and At Them. Kind of the same that happened with us, but stays on just like we did. And that's another good jump from us. It's a great jump as well from Butter Moon now. Them and Murphy are on the heels of Ilsas and just ahead of us. Up and At Them leads out Consultant Stylist, Ribot's Guest and Runway Dancer. So we're just about 10 furlongs in from the end. We've got less than half the jumps left to do. We're in good position, having recovered from a bad jump. I do feel that we could be in for a great finish as long as we don't jump something poorly. Where's Runway Dancer? Yeah, Runway Dancer's pretty much done. There we go, pulled up. That leaves Ribot's Guest right at the back. Up and At Them and Consultant Stylist just ahead. Ourselves on the outside. Butter Moon with a great jump there though, moving up into second place on the inside of Murphy. Ilsas leading us out for most of this race. Has been jumping pretty well, and the field is starting to coalesce a little bit. Not too many gaps between the horses. We are now coming up to jump 16. Great jump by Up and At Them. Not so good for us. And again we're out jumped by Up and At Them. So 5 more jumps to go here, and 5.5 furlongs in which to do them. We see Ribot's Guest starting to make some ground now on that inside. A very dangerous horse. We are going round the outside now. Ribot's Guest coming along with us. We're boxing them in just a little. They're just sort of cresting round the outside now of Up and At Them, and Butter Moon moving into second place. We're not quite at that level. 4 furlongs left to go. 4 jumps left to go. Ilsas still holds on to the lead. We're battling up now past Butter Moon for third place. We've got Up and At Them coming on our inside though. Murphy's on the outside. Consultant Stylist seems to be out of this. Ilsas now is actually fading fast. Ribot's Guest doing well, and we have fallen, and so has Murphy at jump number 19. I don't know if we would have been able to challenge, but this is now a 2-horse race. Up and At Them and Ribot's Guest. 1.5 furlongs left. Ribot's Guest has run a great race. Up and At Them doing really well to stick with them, but really disappointing for us. Last jump, jumped quite well by all the front 3 there. 1/2 furlong. This is going to be Ribot's Guest, unchallenged as they come to the line. A couple of lengths ahead of Up and At Them, who's a few ahead of Butter Moon. Quite a distance to Isas and Consultant Stylist, way detached in the rear. That is our first fall. And it sucks because we were close enough to make a difference. I do think we were in good position 4th. I think we could have finished top 3 there quite easily. I quite fancy us there to be competing for at least second place. And yeah, we had a lot left in us. We made a little bit of a move, but not the full move. We were going to really try and charge down. I think Ribot's Guest might have had us. You know, that looked like a really, really good horse. Ran this race really well. But that's the first time we've actually fallen, and I'm a bit disappointed because we should have had that race. So, not the best, but, you know, at least we got through the race. The game didn't crash. Hopefully that bodes well for the future. So, we move swiftly on. We're going to run with Concubine for the first run in our stable for the 4-year-old mare. It's a flat race. We have won our opener. So everybody's pretty much the same. Couple of running overweight. Theatrale looks like underweight. So yeah, this should be an interesting one. It's 2 miles 4 furlongs. It's where I think this horse will perform. So let's see how much I've learned. Have I got the distance right? I don't think there's too much to worry about sort of looking at the field, because none of them have really raced before. So we are sort of in a big race here, and it is only a flat race. So we shouldn't see too many falling here, maybe 1 or 2 pulling up at the most. But we're comfortably in the middle of the pack there. Bellis de la Cinte is leading us out from Espana. We've got Dispol Kylie, Moataz and Bruyner there, 3 abreast, fighting for 3rd. Then down to Theatrale, then Concubine with Wicklewood, Miss Nero, Mordash, Safa Garden, Lucky Dice, Lagawa and Mafeteng at the moment is just behind those, trying to come back up into the pack. So we've got leader, we've got a chasing group now, and then we've got the pack behind with 1 detached a little. So 15.5 furlongs, not really too much to be able to say in this, but I will reiterate, I do like Concubine. Looking at her stats reminds me a little bit of Batchworth Dancer. Not identical, and I'm not sure whether we can get some grade wins out of Concubine, maybe not grade 1s at the least, like we have with Batchworth Dancer, but I'm not sure that we should have with Batchworth either. I'm not sure why we did. It doesn't look like a horse that should have won those races to me. But that, of course, is looking at it with my my flat racing eyes. That's what I'm trained to look for horses and how to evaluate them. So it's a little bit different. So I'm hoping the Concubine can produce something, and I'm hoping as well that all 3 horses that we got actually can win graded races and really kickstart this game into something special. But if Concubine doesn't work out, of course, then the breeding barn does beckon, and I don't think that would be a bad option either. Batchworth Dancer's probably going to go in there for a season or 2, just to see what happens. Breed it against a really good game-owned horse, maybe see what the progeny actually works out as, and if that's the start of a nice lineage. So it's our only graded winner at the moment, and it's 3 grade wins at the Group 1 level and a Group 3 as well. So Concubine's still middle here. The field has kind of coalesced now, not too much in between each group of horses. We're all sort of running together, and as we go downhill, people are starting to catch up a little on Bellis de la Cinte, who is still out on the front. Bruyner, Espana, Dispov Kylie, Mortaz, Lagala, Theatrale. We're now moving up on that outside as we're starting to move into that second group and away from the chasing pack. Wicklewood, Safa Garden, Lucky Dice, Mordash, Mafeteng and Miss Nero now towards the back of the field. So 6 furlongs. This is the interesting part of the race. Who's going to get held up? Who's going to get boxed in? Who's going to find that clear air to run in? Will Bellis be able to fight at the line, or have they done too much too early? Who's in good position? We see now Theatrale on the outside moving up. Oh, excuse me, I had to cough there, mute the mic. But you see now, it looks like Wicklewood is making a move on the outside. We're now coming up the outside of them, and it looks like we're bringing maybe Safa Garden with us. Bellis now still fighting here. And was that Lagala moving now down the field a little bit? So Wicklewood, now ourselves, 1.8 furlongs left to go. We're contesting the lead. Bruyner is just going with us and just going ahead. Looks like they're going away from us as well. We've got 3 dangerous horses chasing us down. Are we going to be able to do anything here? Can we fight back towards the line now? 0.3 point 2, this is going to be Brina's. Brina takes the flat race. We just edge out Wicklewood there for second place by about a head. And it's not the race I wanted. It's not the result that we all want to see there. But I think we fought for the line pretty well. We got out there. Yes, Brina was just ahead of us. And carried more weight. That could be a decent horse if it's doing that kind of thing. But really, that's okay. Horse was making a noise, maybe a breathing problem. Well, there we go. That might be something. Then, maybe we need to do a wind up on the horse. So, if it's got a breathing problem, still ran very, very well over a long race. So, you know, we might have something there. We might have something. So, wind up. Wind operation performed, £550 paid. Well worth the money if it does put it in range of winning a race. I know we've got a month till Lycidious's race. So bear with me, I will be back when that is ready to be run. And so here we are then, the 2 mile 4 furlong Hatton's Grace Hurdle, Grade 1 in Ireland at Fairyhouse. Now, this is a good field. This is a good field. Mr. McGoldrick won a bunch of races, 166 rating, clear favourite, no problem with that. Dormouse, decent record. You know, it's a little laid back for this race. I think that that's going to do better than some people would expect. And then you got your 150 there, 153 with Nosler. You've got Lamberek, who looks like a good horse, and Giovanna as well. So pretty much the horses they picked. Knick-Knack, too, not a bad horse. I don't know how well we're going to travel in this race, but our record does point to us being able to do something. So again, I think this mainly boils down to, is the distance right? Is the ground right? And just how good this horse is, because I think this is a very good horse. So it's time to find out. It's time to put up or shut up for Lycidius. And it's raining. I don't feel that's a fair test for this horse, sadly. But, you know, we're going up against Mr. McGoldrick. We've all got to run in the same conditions. Maybe one runs better in rain than the other. And maybe be different on a different track, etc. But this is the race we've got to run. So, Lycidius is here, 25-1. Decent odds, I feel. And we will open up on the inside at the front. And I do not mind that whatsoever. So, I have not seen this horse run. I do not know if it is a front runner or a late runner. It looks to be a little bit of a front runner right now. And I do prefer to see those kind of horses. We see Mr. McGoldrick there on the outside, just coming up the outside of Giovanna now, and onto our heels as we drop back quite a bit, leaving Diamond Peg out to the front for the first jump, and that's a decent jump there for us. Not the best in the world, not the worst either. Secret House on the inside, we got, who's that? Giovanna coming back up on our outside. We've got Obsessive and Dormouse there. Knick-Knack, 2 on the back on the outside. Nosler on this inside, then back to Stampound and Labarek at the rear of the field. So, couple of jumps in. Decent second jump from us there. So, yeah, Mr. McGoldrick looks to be in great position right now. Giovanna as well. We're not in bad position. Diamond Peg's gone out early into the lead here. 14.5 furlongs. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or not. That's a terrible jump. We just seem to hang in the air. We've lost like 3 positions. And, yeah, that might not bode well on a heavy track. Probably going to be testing a little bit of the stamina of some of these horses anyway. You know, it's a long race in muggy conditions. So a few bad jumps is really not going to be helping us out. But that was a good jump. We were blocked off there by Giovanna, who had a terrible jump and jumped right into our path on the inside of the track, which means that our own good jumps seem to be a little negated there, which I really don't like. We should know where Giovanna is. And again, a bad jump to follow it up. So not the best in the world from Lycidas at the moment. 10.5 furlongs. Secret World, Dormouse and Standpoint are just there with us towards the rear of the field. Just ahead, Knick-Knack 2, Labarek and Nozler. Giovanna, unfortunately for us, with that bad jump, hasn't affected her too much. She's up in 4th on the heels of Obsessive. Just ahead of Obsessive, although they're coming back now to overtake Mr. McGoldrick, the race favourite, who's now coming back into 2nd place quite handily. 8.5 furlongs left to jump. Diamant Peg is out in the lead and looks fairly good so far. Hasn't had a problem with anything, but what a jump there for quite a lot of the field, including Obsessive, Giovanna, Mr. McGoldrick. They all seem to jump really, really well now, up into 3rd, 4th, and all battling, of course, for 2nd. But here comes Lycidas, or Lycidas. I'm not sure how we're going to pronounce his name. Tries the inside, blocked off. Tries the outside, not much room. Tries back inside, loses a bit of ground. Bad jump as well. So not the best jockey work, I feel, here. We're not choosing one part of the track. Now we're going around the outside. We're making up moves. You know, we're making up ground. Obsessive, we're really pushing forward. We've got Giovanna to our inside. Knick-Knack 2 might be blocked off by them and Mr. McGoldrick. The man Peg still out here as we approach 4 furlongs, and it looks like Knick-Knack 2 is going to go out ahead of us in this one. We need good jumps. If we don't get good jumps, we're not in contention. Knick-Knack 2 is trying to steal this one, though, with a couple of jumps left in this race. Just over 3 furlongs left. Giovanna up in the 2nd place. Mr. McGoldrick now trying to make their move to catch the leaders. Nozler, Labrick and Diamant Peg just ahead of us. Dormouse now overtaking us, and Lycidas is pretty much out of this race. Blocked off by Giovanna at least once. I want to say kind of twice. But, you know, 3 really bad jumps as well. And as we come down to 1 furlong, I think the jockey's no longer persevering with the horse. Conditions weren't right for us. This race wasn't right for us. And unsurprisingly, Mr. McGoldrick there with an easy win. We're held up all the way back in what will be a 6th place finish. And that isn't at all what I wanted to see. Yeah, I don't think the race was the right one. There seemed to be a lot going wrong. I do believe in this horse. I do believe in this horse. But I think the ground might have been wrong there. You know, like a firmer track, it was a heavy track, it was raining, blocked off, couple of bad jumps. I don't think things aligned for us in that race. So, not too much I can say about that. I think the distance maybe was okay. Didn't really hear too much about that. So, a few question marks again over these horses. We're not sure how good they are. We're not sure what we're going to be able to do. And with the quality of horses we got in the breeding barn, I'm not sure these yearlings are going to be the answer. So, this is a great season of racing in this jump save. But like I say, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of questions, and a lot of them remain unanswered for me. How good are these horses? Are we going to be able to get better horses in the breeding barn? Are we going to get better young horses? Are we going to stay out of debt? Or are we just going to keep going up and down throughout the future? I don't know. But it's a lot of fun finding out, even when results don't go our way. So, hey, that's racing. I'm off to try and book some better races. Give Batchworth Dancer another chance to get back to form. Give Lycidas a better race to run. And keep going with Concubine, because I think maybe, just maybe, they could be a really nice horse. So, hey, We're gonna find out next video. I'll see you back here then. Until then though guys, I've been Chris Army. Thanks for stopping by. If you have enjoyed, click the like button, share the video on social media, you know, do what you gotta do. Love you guys, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again very soon.